Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Heart Space Atelier Season 2. I cannot believe that we're sitting here. I'm so excited to be back. Thank you so much for sharing the space with me today. I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here and this found you, welcome. Trust this found you for a reason. And also, if you're not new here and you have been with me on this journey for a while, this also found you for a reason. You're here for a reason. And yeah, I really hope that the past few weeks have been abundant for you. I hope you were able to flow through the last few weeks with ease. And if not, that is actually what we're talking about today. So I think I'm going to be putting timestamps here because I do want to talk a bit about what the hell I've been up to the past 3 weeks and what has been changing for me personally in my personal life and, you know, some spiritual realizations I've had and stuff. I really want to get into all of this before we dive into the topic, which is Lost and Found. This episode is called Lost and Found. This has been inspired by multiple events happening in my personal life, so I do want to get into that as well before I dive into the advice. Before we get into today's episode, I quickly want to mention something super exciting. I have created an online course called The Easy Life that you can check down below in the description box. And this is basically a course/workshop where we dive deep into making life feel more easier. There's 4 chapters. Each chapter is 30 minutes or a bit longer. And in each chapter, we're diving into different topics that I think are the most important to cultivate more ease in our lives, because we are not supposed to feel drained and dreading every single day when we wake up. We are meant to lead an easy life that feels easy. And so I have created this course and there's 4 chapters. Number 1 is Divine Offering. Chapter number 2 is Alchemizing. Chapter number 3 is Spiritual Spring Cleaning. And chapter number 4 is Slowing the Fuck Down. Yeah, I'd love to have you there, and if you feel called to join, check it out. I'll be so grateful. Let's get it, let's go. First of all, what are we drinking today? We have some chamomile tea, and then we also have a coconut matcha, which I almost finished. I love this so much. Listen, guys, I love matcha mixed with oat milk and then a splash of coconut milk and maple syrup. It tastes so good. It is divine. If you need something refreshing, I highly recommend. So you may wonder, what has Henry been up to the past few weeks in his life? And there's a couple of things that happened which really made me kind of shift into this new beginning and chapter and season of my life. And honestly, I wish I could be sitting here. By the way, I need to get a bit more comfortable. I wish I could be sitting here with all the answers. I wish I could be sitting here being like, hey, yes, I have completely stepped into my new life chapter and everything is great now and nothing is uncertain. And oh my goodness, I'm so grounded and I'm so at peace with where I am. Because that is a lie. To some extent, yes, I am at peace, and I do feel right where I'm supposed to be, but that does not mean that I am not feeling the growing pains, the uncomfortable feeling of stepping into a new life chapter. I feel lost as much as I feel found right now, and this is exactly what inspired this title and this episode. Because I realized something in the past few weeks. I consider myself to be a nomad. I have led a nomad life before I moved to the city, before I settled down, kind of. I don't know, I feel like settling down has a very negative undertone. But what I mean with settling down is moving into my first apartment and building stable friendships and building a stable relationship and all of that, I think that is a beautiful way of settling down. What I have realized though, because before all of this happened, before I moved to the city, I was leading a nomad life. I was traveling full time. I was doing online work, and this kind of led me to just explore the world. So I spent a lot of time in Scotland, which is my heart's home. I love it so much. And, for some reason, I'm always being led back there. So I spent a lot of time there, or like the UK in general. I also spent time in America. And it was like 2 years of a lot of traveling, a lot of, meeting new people, meeting new friends, and stuff like this. And it just kept evolving. So I found myself like in different cities, like, Los Angeles, New York, Paris, and Scotland, the very north of Scotland. And, at some point I was like, okay, I think it's time we kind of settle for a bit. And so I have done that. In the last 3 years, I moved to the city 3 years ago. And I cannot say that I fully love it with my whole heart. There's elements that I really, really deeply enjoy. And there's elements, just like anywhere, you could be anywhere, you could still fall in love with some kind of magic around you. But I cannot say that this city is my soul's place. I cannot say that Berlin is the place where I see myself my whole life, because it's just not me. I'm a very sensitive being. I don't like being in massive crowds all the time. I need my nature time. So me moving to a very urban part of the city with zero peaceful tranquility breaks can be really tough, and I've noticed that I cannot go on like this. So, I'm moving. I will not say anything more on this, because I'm also kind of staying in Berlin, but I'm also moving. But all of this shall be revealed in the next few months when I'm ready to talk about it. But I knew I had to change something, is what I'm trying to say here. I felt so lost that I needed to create my found. And I realized that no matter what, this chapter is officially coming to an end. This chapter in my beautiful apartment is officially coming to an end, because the season is over. I am meant to voyage onto something else, because I cannot go on like this. And it's not like a desperate call for change. It's more of like an inner knowing, like walking through my neighborhood and being in my apartment and just feeling deeply into me, when one day I woke up and I just realized, I just knew that this chapter is over. And I am a firm believer that as humans, we are meant to live many different places. I don't think we are meant to stick around at one place your entire life. Our ancestors were also traveling a lot. Like it dates back to a shit ton of years ago. Like, it's really in our blood, in our nature to see different parts of the world, to travel, to voyage, to be a nomad if we feel called to be it, And I am a Sagittarius through and through. My Sun is in Sagittarius, my Venus is in Sagittarius, my Mercury is in Sagittarius as well, I think. And my Pluto is in Sagittarius. So there's like a lot of Sagittarius placements here. And I have been missing the nomad life a lot, I have to say. And if I'm being completely honest here, it has kind of influenced my life in a bad way, because I tried to make a version of myself exist that simply isn't real, Like me settling into this place, into this urban place, and never moving and overstaying my internal welcome here, it's not right. So I'm changing. And as you're listening to this, I want you to give yourself permission as well to change. If you feel like this chapter is over, if you feel like this job is no longer serving you, get a new one. If you feel like this relationship is no longer serving you, get out of it. If you are feeling like this place, this home is no longer serving you and you are meant to experience life somewhere else, please do that. You are not a tree. You are not meant to stay exactly where you're staying your whole life. If you feel called to go, you have to go because it is your soul's calling. And yes, it may be like anxiety creating and you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, like how do I move through this crazy transition? Honey, you will come out on the other end with so much wisdom, groundedness, peace, and a crazy new outlook on life. Because you have changed it all, and it's going to be so inspiring to your brain. It's going to be so inspiring to your brain, heart, head, soul, body, spirit. Like, if you feel depressed, if you're deep down in the trenches of sadness and darkness, the best thing you could do is move. I don't make the rules. The best thing you can do is make a life-dressing like change in life, to quit your job and do some like work and travel, get rid of your belongings. Like, we only live once. We only live once, you know? Or like, who knows, you know? Like, I don't know if we only live once, but like, this life, we only live once, okay? And I need you to really understand and grasp this meaning, and that your life is meant to be lived. And also, let me say something controversial. You are meant to make mistakes. You need to do more mistakes in life. You need to pack your bags and leave. You need to do things that you're scared that you will regret one day, because 99.99999% you will not regret it. When you leave this earth, you will not be able to take any physical things. You will not even be able to take your loved ones with you. The only thing you're taking is your consciousness, your soul, your energy, you know? And we don't even know what happens with that. Maybe you will decide to reincarnate as a beautiful tree, beautiful plant. I don't know. I'm not here to like tell you like my beliefs or something, because I don't even know myself. Like, no one really knows. And you're taking nothing with you. So it is important to stay detached to certain things. It is important to stay detached to physical things. It is important to appreciate these things. You know, it is important to fall in love and to appreciate and deeply be grateful for your company, for your close loved ones, while also knowing that all of this feels like forever, but it's not forever. And it is so important to live our lives deeply. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make is wait. Wait for the right time. Wait until you have all your spiritual ducks in a row. Because there's always going to be one duck missing. And that cannot throw you off. You cannot allow yourself to be thrown off by one missing duck. You just have to go for it. Another thing that has been a very big thing my entire life is confidence. And a couple of days ago, I think it was last week, it was like 8 days ago or something, I dyed my hair very bright pink. I'm gonna insert pictures here. In case you haven't seen my last video, it was still a bit more pink because now it's almost fully washed out. By the way, I love this color. I love like this rosé strawberry blonde. But I was doing one of my like dance workouts in the evening, and suddenly like I just got this download, like this internal download of being like, I have to dye my hair pink. Because something else that I want to confess. The last few weeks before I dyed my hair, I was feeling very insecure. And I had a lot of insecurity going outside, a lot of social anxiety, because I wasn't happy with myself. And I have this weird thing, and I don't know if any of you guys can relate, but like when I'm at home and I look into the mirror and stuff, like I am very satisfied. I appreciate who I am. I appreciate my body. I appreciate my beauty. I appreciate all of that. But when I go out, I get very anxious about being perceived in public. You know, I don't get anxious being perceived like online, but I feel like when you're out in public, you lose this control of how people can perceive you, because they can, perceive you from the angles that you don't necessarily love. And to me, that is a very big thing, because I've always dealt with control issues, like I have dealt with OCD and OCD tendencies for a long time. It's gotten much better, thank God, but I still go through phases where I feel like I really need to control things that are not meant to be controlled. And one of them being is like, we are not meant to control how other people perceive us, because it doesn't matter. Like, why does it matter? We are not even meant to see ourselves in the first place. And the reason I'm mentioning all of this is because I have been healing this deeply for the past 2 weeks, I would say. And we are not meant to look in the mirror every day. That is unnatural. Like, before mirrors even existed, people would see their reflection in waters. That's the only way we were supposed to see ourselves. But like looking in the mirror a million times a day is not normal, or worrying about how you're being perceived is not normal. And the concept of feeling insecure is not natural. It is not our natural state. So I need you to realize this as well. Whatever you're feeling when it comes to your physical appearance or how you appear to other people, that is not a natural thing to think. It is not normal. And I feel like this is a revelation that I have found, and something I felt lost over for quite a while. I think like the peak of my insecurities were when I was like 14, when, I don't know if you remember, but I posted this private school story time, Almond Mom private school. That was also the time where I decided to have my emo phase. So I had really like long bleached hair, like purple hair, blue hair, pink hair. I had every single color you could imagine, except maybe like yellow and green, Wait, did I have green? I'm not sure, but like I had a shit ton of colors basically, and I changed it up all the time. And I was feeling so insecure. I was the most insecure ever. So thankfully, I have never reached that low point again, but I definitely have struggled with being perceived and feeling insecure about things that I really shouldn't be feeling insecure of, that also no one will ever notice, because that's the thing. We can look at every pore in our face and notice pimples or imperfections. We could look at it like very closely, but we have to remember other people cannot see this from afar. You cannot see all my pores from here. You cannot see like all the imperfections that I have a laser focus on. I cannot see your imperfections that you have a laser focus on, because we're not that close. And even if we were, like when you have a partner and they're kissing you and you're kissing them, and you're very close to each other, it is ridiculous to assume that they will still notice your imperfections, because that is just the thing that you focus on, you know, because they're going to be blinded by the kiss, you know? And if somebody that is not kissing you is so close to you, then what the hell are they doing in the first place? Anyway, God, I went on a tangent here, but, you know, like, this has been really present in my life. I have been switching from sacral chakra meditations to solar plexus chakra meditations because I want to heal that confidence within me. Like, I want to make it radiate through my being, not just online, but also when I'm stepping outside into the world. So this is something I've been working on as well. I think I've been doing a pretty good job, because this pink hair moment, I also want to mention, I did that in the first place because I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to feel like I wanted to feel even more perceived, because I wanted to heal that fear. And I know for a fact that when you run around with like a bright hair color in Germany, even if it's Berlin, even if every single second person has dyed hair here, I notice, first of all, a lot of people don't. Like, I rarely see people with colored hair here. Like, of course, like, yes, every day, maybe one or two, but like, in a sea of people, you know? And also, like, everybody's just boring. Everybody is just boring. And I just realized something, like, yeah, I moved to Berlin with this thought of it being very vibrant and everybody just doing what they're doing, you know? But it is still like 90% boring people, as it's for literally anywhere else. Like, the only place I felt like people were embracing themselves was California. Like, that felt very vibrant. People were very different. But here it's also like people are just wearing boring shit, you know? And it's boring. It's boring to the soul. So yes, I wanted to challenge myself, because my mind was telling me already, oh my gosh, you're being perceived, it is scary. And then I was like, you know what? Exposure therapy. We are going to slap some neon pink hair dye on your hair, and we're going to challenge ourselves. Guess what? For some reason, the second I did that, the second I went for a walk alone outside with the pink hair, I felt super confident. It unlocked something within me. And I cannot say that this is going to have the same effect for everybody doing this, because it could have also gone the other way around and I would have been even more anxious. But for me, it unlocked something within me because I did this with intention, you know? So if you want to challenge yourself, change something about yourself, change your environment, change your hair, because the smallest change you make, I always say this, but it's going to create a ripple effect. It is going to create a ripple effect where you're going to be like, oh my goodness, okay, now I've changed my hair. Now my energy is vibrating on a different frequency. I feel different. Other people will notice that difference and feel that different energy, even if you just go from one blonde shade to another, one brown shade to another, you know? Because you're radiating this change within you, and you notice that something is different, you radiate change. So the number one step to manifest great change is to change up some little stuff, some little shit, you know? Also, if you're going through some really tough changes in your life, I want you to realize that the best thing you could do is to do something else that is out of your comfort zone, to like go to an open mic, to go on a solo date by yourself, you know? To do something out of the ordinary, because you have nothing to lose anyway, you know? When you hit rock bottom, or something like that, you know? Then it is so vital that you get yourself up and you do something you haven't done before. That's going to create some anxiety and nervosity within you, because that's going to shift your reality as well, because it takes you out of the misery. You know, and now you're focused on being anxious about this new thing that you're going to. But needless to say, your soul, despite being anxious, is also excited that you're doing something new. And for me, this was dyeing my hair. For you, it could be going on a little solo date, even though you never do anything yourself. And I have to say, this is one of the most life-changing things. Like, I've done so much myself. I have done so much myself. The biggest travels I did, I have done myself, alone. I have been doing solo dates ever since I can remember, and they haven't even stopped. Even after I got into the relationship and stuff, like, they've never stopped, you know, because I love myself and I want to challenge myself and I want to be as comfortable within myself as possible to have a good time by myself, you know? And there's so many things, like, I went to open mics when I was in New York by myself and I was terrified, but I got up on that stage and I was singing. And basically everything I ever wanted to do when I was on travels by myself, I had to do alone because no one was there to do it with me, right? So I had to do it and nothing was going to stop me. And I went to do all these things myself, and this cultivated in like this inner self-trust. So I cannot stress this enough. If you feel lost in life, do some things that may be small but that are a big deal to you. Do them yourself. No one's coming to save you, but you can save yourself and you can have a good fucking time doing it. And by the way, may I add that you will never be found. You find yourself, and you can decide today to find yourself. You can decide today to be found, because the only person that's going to help you out of the bullshit, that will help you stabilize your internal well-being through these changes, is you. Lock into your morning routine. When life feels like it's falling apart, force yourself to get up in the morning and do your morning routine. That is what I've been doing for so long now. No matter in which season of life I am, I will show up, even if it's just 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. Who cares? Like, just show up. You have to show up because you owe it to yourself. Because no one's going to save you. And when you save yourself, you have a better chance of creating a sacred community that can support and help you when times are rough. But you have to get up. You have to save yourself first. Then other people will come to save you too. But only if you save yourself. Lastly, I also realized something. I didn't feel ready when it came to season 2 of the podcast. A couple of days ago, I was like, oh God, like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to film it. I don't know if I should get all things organized, all ducks in a row first, if I should feel totally in alignment and at peace. But then I realized, if I wait for this to happen, my whole life is going to be put on hold. We cannot afford to wait so much. We have to take action, because the most successful people have this thing where in between them having an idea and them actually acting on it, there's very little time. And I have decided to implement this too into my life and to not take so much time, because you may never feel ready. So you have to do what you have to do. And you have to fake it till you make it. You have to put a smile on. Do your hair, makeup, wear something that speaks to you, that you feel comfortable and confident in. And then you do what you have to do. And you will feel better afterwards. Trust. Speaking of wearing something that is confident and comfortable, I'm wearing this beautiful Siren Spell choker by my handmade jewelry at 12charms.com. The link is down below in the description box. I have only made 2 of these, okay? And most of my necklaces, by the way, I've only made I would say 3 tops. There's 2 necklaces that I made 3 of, but the rest is either just once, like a 1-time piece, or like a 2 times piece, you know? So if you feel called, if this calls to you, if this energy vibrates into your soul, into your heart, feel free to check out my website. I love creating jewelry. I love whenever people order them or order one of my tarot readings, because I'm also offering them. And I'm also during my podcast break, I actually started doing one-on-one coaching lessons, and I'm also going to be putting the link down there. If you have something that you want guidance on, that you want to yap about, I want to give you the opportunity that we can call and get some clarity. Okay? We may pull 1 or 2 tarot cards. We are going to be using my intuition, and we are just going to have a beautiful, creative, spiritual talk on how life can feel more easier to you. Now that we have made it to the end of Season 2, Episode 1 of Heart Space Atelier, I just want to say thank you so much. And I would love to hear from you if this resonated with you. If you have anything to say, I'd love to hear from you. I always love when you share your thoughts with me. I feel so honored and blessed and grateful, and I read all of them all the time and respond to them. All of them, all the time. So feel free to leave a comment. That helps support the podcast the most. And yeah, I cannot wait to see you next Thursday again at 4 p.m. Berlin time. I love you so much, and I hope you have a blessed day. And remember, you find yourself. Bye.